Hello. We are here today to play For the Queen, first edition. Very excited for second edition. Can't wait for that thing to come out. So I'm excited. I'm Mads, she, they pronouns. So I've played For the Queen several different times as a prequel to another game, as its standalone, and just also several descended from the Queen games that are coming out, such as The King's Poisoner, as well as 1 year hence. So I'm putting it out there in the universe for those designers to get their games out because those are very exciting to play. Yes. Anyway, yeah, just excited to share this game with others and be able to just like sit down and play a card game. Yay. I'll popcorn it
Hey,
over to Alex.
Hi all, I'm Alex, pronouns he, him. I have been playing a lot of narrative games, particularly recently, but over the last few years. I'm really was excited to play this one today. I got to see a short playthrough on YouTube recently and it was pretty cool. And I've just been into a lot of GM-less belonging, outside belonging games lately. So it seems functionally similar in how we're bouncing ideas off of each other. And I know these people are super creative, so I'm looking forward to hearing their thoughts towards the prompts. So
Go ahead and popcorn it over to someone else.
popcorn into Jonn.
hi, I'm John. I've actually played quite a bit of For the Queen. I've done it on multiple streams. I've even taught the game to people and done multiple tryouts in my local area to get more people playing it. So I thoroughly enjoy this game and I look forward to playing it today and more in the future.
And last
Oh,
but not
and oh, sorry, and I'll popcorn it over to, is it Noctua or Noctua?
Second one. So,
Noctua. Okay.
yep. Yep. I'm Noctua, she, her. Uh, this is my first time playing For the Queen, but I have played 1 year hence, which is a descended from the Queen type game. I'm expecting this is going to be lots of fun.
Indeed. Okay, great. So the way it works, as some of us know, is essentially we're going to go through the deck of instructions, and then we're going to take turns reading out the instructions, and then like we'll pretty much follow the same order when we get to the point of following the prompts and actually getting into gameplay for the most part. Okay. Let me see if I can share my screen. You know what? Actually, like instead of sharing the screen, because that takes up a lot of bandwidth, let's go ahead and, of course, like read the cards out loud. And then when we get to the prompts part, then we'll of course, read the prompt out loud first before narrating or role playing, whatever. Okay? So let's go ahead. I will start. Number 1, go around the table clockwise, taking turns reading these cards aloud. Okay? Hey, come on.
It's forward or no.
Okay.
The land you live in has been at war for as long as any of you have been alive.
Oh wait, whose turn is it?
Yours.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I
The
think we got it
the
backwards on the.
Oh, sorry. Okay. It's fine if like if if we're following the player or go for it. Sorry.
I'm just going to
okay.
switch this so it makes more sense.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, because that I was going by that too. The
Yeah.
queen thinks the queen thinks more highly of you
Oh,
than
no,
you
no, no.
do of, oh
That's
wait,
the
that's wrong thing.
instructions deck.
Instructions deck. Oh, okay, yes. Do I just drag it out and then flip it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
The
click
queen
on
has
the.
decided okay.
Go ahead.
The Queen has decided to undertake a long and perilous journey to broker an alliance with a distant power.
The Queen has chosen all of you and no one else to be her retinue and accompany her on this journey.
She chose you because she knows that you love her.
You are welcome to look through the Queen cards for inspiration. If there is one that seems right for the group, place it on the table to inspire your story.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and look at the Queen's deck right now. So I'm going to pull up each of the queens. We're just going to spread them out. And then each of us are going to pick one. Come on.
They're so pretty.
Yeah,
They are.
right?
Mhm.
These are great.
They
And then
are.
there's
They're
going to be
amazing.
more queens and I think different
Yeah.
pictures as well for the new version. So, yeah, just take a look. Take a look and see who you like, get attracted by. Like we'll each pick one and then we'll make our case.
Mhm.
Ooh. Oh, these are
Oh,
delightful.
okay, yeah. So, let's go
This
ahead
is
and
gonna
just
be real hard.
I
I,
know.
I know which one gets picked most of the time,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna try to pick something different.
Okay. Oops. I'm gonna put that back into the deck. There we go. Okay.
Is there a way to ping?
I
Like,
don't
how do we
know.
say I like this one? And
I,
how
I
how would you
guess.
know?
I guess
Do
you
I
could
pick up?
just, yeah, if you
Yeah.
just want to drag it by your name, I guess. I mean, that's fine, and then I'll put them back in the deck once we're done
Okay,
looking. Okay.
the card kind of is by everyone's name now, but
That's fine. That's fine. I trying to figure out which one I like. I like. Is this the one I picked last time? I can't remember. I mean, I'll pick her.
Do we all have to pick different ones?
I mean, if you
no,
like,
we
if
could
you like,
if
right, yeah.
yeah.
If you like one that one of us has picked already, that's fine.
Yeah,
Less
we
to worry
eventually
about.
have to narrow it down to one,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
it would be ideal if you like the same one as someone else's.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was actually looking at the one Mads picked. I like this one.
Okay, I'm gonna put all the rest of the cards back.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty strong choice, but
Yeah,
Well, did we want to go over each of the ones that you all picked and then choose, or did we want to just go with that one?
I honestly don't feel too strongly about mine, so
Okay.
yeah,
All
I'm
right.
fine with doing that one.
Okay. Cool.
Is
I
that the most
literally picked.
commonly chosen one?
No, the golf one is the one that I've seen get picked the most.
huh.
That's funny. Okay. That is fine. Okay. So we've got this beautiful queen right here. All right. So, um, just going to have her sit right there to inspire our story. We're actually right on top of the deck. There we go.
Hmm.
Okay.
That works.
Cool.
I think it was my turn.
Yes, it should be your turn. Hmm?
Set the card that reads "The Queen is under attack."
Okay. Hopefully they change this for next time because, like, me personally, I'm kind of like, this should be pulled out like at the first thing so we don't have to go
Yeah.
through
It
this.
should be at the top of the.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
that they considered this being played online at that point. Maybe.
Yeah. Because, like, we'll just, like, throw the deck on the table and then we're just gonna just do it.
Yeah,
It's fine. Okay.
yeah. It's a lot
Yeah,
easier
so
to find if we were holding the cards.
Yeah, exactly. I think there's
All right, set the card that reads "The Queen is under attack. Do you defend her aside?" We've done that.
Okay.
it needs to be somewhere in the middle, right?
I mean, online it probably should be at the top, so we don't have to like
Okay.
click drag.
Okay.
But
I
then we
suppose that's
need
true,
to.
yeah.
I'll put it right there.
Place it where we want to. I mean, honestly, we can put it in the middle of the deck, or we can just sit it aside and say we're stopping now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
gonna put
true.
it right there just because it's like I just don't want to have to worry about,
Fair
you
enough,
know,
yeah.
losing track of it. Okay.
Yeah.
Who's next?
All right. Shuffle the red prompt cards and place them face down in the center of the table. I
Yes.
feel like this has happened already.
Yes, it has happened.
Mhm.
Okay. Put the queen is under attack card in the middle of the deck for a game that takes approximately 30 minutes. They don't know us very well, I'm telling you. Or shuffle it into the bottom third of the deck to play for an hour or more. So I don't care what they say. It takes a lot longer than 30 minutes to play this game because we are role players. Thank you very much.
Right. And the follow-up questions tend to be like third degree, like the Inquisition.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
When you have read the
Okay.
instruction cards, continue clockwise with the red prompt cards. Take turns reading the questions out loud. Interpret these questions and answer them however you wish.
Other players may ask you questions or make suggestions on your turn, but whether you answer those questions or include those suggestions is entirely up to you.
Place the X card somewhere everyone can easily reach it.
Yep. If you encounter a card or an answer that you don't want to be included in the game, tap the X card. The content is then removed from the game.
If you draw a card that is removed this way, simply draw another card. You can X a card that you drew yourself.
You can also pass on your turn. To do so, give the prompt card you drew to the next player and say, I'd like to hear your answer to this question.
A prompt card can be passed around the table until someone applies the X card to it.
Continue answering, passing, and Xing questions until the queen is under attack card is drawn. I'm just going to make a caveat to that saying it's like, once we get like about, 15 minutes or so, like, close to the end of our time, I'm going to pull the queen is under attack, just to kind of like wrap ourselves up. Okay.
Each player should answer that question in turn, then the game is over.
Whoever wants to can draw the first prompt card.
Okay. Alrighty, so let me bring the deck back. Hopefully I can do this. Okay. I won't worry about it just at the moment, but just pretend that the instruction cards have been shuffled off of the table. Okay, so this is where we will do the prompt cards in order, and of course take the turns as we see them up there. I'm gonna say that again. Once the person who answers the card answers it in however the hell way they want to, the rest of us can ask questions. And please feel free to, if you want to just keep it a simple narration, you can. If you want to role play and ask questions in your character's, voice, please feel free and do that as well. You'll find that we might encounter some questions that are like, well, damn, that's way too early in the game to figure that out, which is fine. If you want, we can put that one aside and wait until a better time to answer it. Or we can, just completely like leave it out of the deck, depending on how you feel. Because again, like some questions just come up, and it's just like I don't know the answer to that question yet. So, however you want to do it, okay. And I'm going to suggest also. Let's see. Since we do have the character keeper open on that particular tab, I'm happy if we want to name our characters, as we go, and then add details, write notes in this particular tab. So this way we can kind of track what we say and some interesting story points that we may want to call back to later at a different prompt. Okay, so that's my suggestion. All right, so I will open the first prompt. You think of someone in this retinue as the queen's favorite. Who? What makes you think this? Perfect example. So, oh man, I have to answer as my character, but I also have to pick one of you to be the target. Poop. Um, so if it's okay with you, I'm going to pick on you, Noctua. Um,
Ooh.
so I think that you are our queen's favorite because of that night, that moonlit night in the garden, and she was talking to you, and she gave you that flower. She didn't give any one of us flowers, but I noticed that she had given you one.
Oh, that's delightful.
Hmm.
Uh, what kind of flower was it?
A lotus. A lotus from the pond.
Oh, they're so pretty. Okay.
Was this something that you expected, or was it a shock, surprise?
Bit of a surprise. She always seemed fair, our queen. Not only fair in face, but also fair in her dealings with people. Never showing any favor to anybody in particular, but just this once. I was just walking, and I saw it, and I actually felt jealous.
You wish the queen had given you a flower instead?
Yes. Yes, I did.
I'm going to try to get in character. I don't. If the voice falls apart, I'll give it up. But well, as you know, the lotus flower means purity, overcoming adversity, and rebirth. Are these qualities you think that the queen meant by offering the lotus flower? Oh, also, I am Magister Alacritus.
Oh, so you are playing your character
You're
from
playing your
No,
character?
no. I'm playing the Fey creature who's pretending to be Alacritus. Right now, I am playing the actual Magister Alacritus.
Got it. Okay. Okay. Uh your question was, am I hoping that those qualities are being passed?
Do you perceive those qualities as being truthful about the person? About I don't who Noctua's future name here.
We gotta get names for these guys. All right. Sorry.
I'm naming my character. My character is going to be called Tanya.
Okay.
Do you think these qualities are actually true of Tanya?
Maybe. I I can't say. It's not something that I would necessarily place stock in. Flowers have meaning, but usually it's just the gifting of them is so important. And I don't think it was a casual gift.
I would say not.
Oh, you can also, like, in your player spot, like on the table, you can also rename
Oh,
your table spot. So
Okay, I'll do that. That probably will make it easier for other people.
yeah.
Sure.
All right, I'm naming mine. Yep. Okay. And my character's name is Adamus.
nice.
I don't think I have another question, so.
Okay.
What do you do that pleases the queen on this journey? So Perin is the youngest son of the queen. He's probably about 8 or 9 at this point. And he's just he's a very quiet child, very introverted, very, into his books. And he desperately wants to ask all of these questions of Magister Alacritus, because he's just heard so much about him. It's like traveling with Merlin, but he keeps all of them to himself. And it's like kind of tearing him up inside to do that a little bit. But the fact that he's a well-behaved child is pleasing the queen right now. She's like, yes, you're being a good boy.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure before I did any of that, if there was any like low key shade being thrown, is that okay with people?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's gonna be some particular questions that are gonna be very pointed in this game towards other people. So it's fine. It's fine.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure before I start like
Sure.
say throwing shade that no one's gonna take it like wrong.
You're cool.
Question for Perin. So was there any particular reason the queen brought Perin along on this journey? Because she's traveling to broker an alliance in a distant land. Generally, that's not a task that requires a child. So what did Perin say or do to convince the queen to bring him along?
I think this is when he's going to be dropped off at the monastery, which is along the way. So that's another thing that he's doing that is being dutiful, like he could have complained or sobbed that she was essentially abandoning him. But it's something that is important for the alliance for some reason, that we are reestablishing these ties with this religion, and he doesn't want to do anything that would upset that. And maybe things are a little dangerous at home right now too. There could be a reason why his father is not along. Maybe his father died, or was assassinated or something. So it could be a reason why it's not safe for him to be there.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't have anything just yet.
So,
Oh, I have a question.
okay.
Well, not to repeat the question of why a child should be brought along, I will let that go for right now. But who is responsible for caring for a child? The queen has many obligations, so who's to see to it that the child does not? I'm not even going to refer to you as parent.
I think he's got a series. He's got a series of tutors. One of which is Bishop Saymond, who is very excited that he's going to be having this new ward. But I think maybe Alacritus is supposed to be teaching him a little too. How seriously do you think Alacritus takes that?
I mean, if the task has been put on Alacritus, he would have done all his complaining up front, but wouldn't do this job, and he would be doing it to the okayest of his ability.
Oh my god. I think Adamus would be just more, come on, boy. While you are being dutiful, let us also make sure you are trained. And this is where Adamus, who is the queen's bodyguard, will kind of like take you under his wing a little bit, because like once you're shooed away from Alacritus, maybe it's like take you away for some like dagger training or something like that. You're a little bit scrawny at the moment to hold a sword, so I think this is where he kind of like says, all right, look, best place to be is not where someone is trying to skewer you. So, let's make sure that you know how to run, hide, and then, if need be, defend yourself.
And
then
yeah,
this is where-
Perin is so just looking down at the dagger uncertainly. He's never, like you said, he's a small and scrawny child compared to the two of his brothers, and the thought of running and hiding seems much more appealing. So he just is nodding enthusiastically, but he's kind of like missing the second part of that. Of course. I'll be a good squire to you, Adamus, or whatever I need to do.
Learn and learn well. And this is where he's going to have you do sprints every morning.
Love it.
I would like to append, if y'all are okay with it. Maybe Tanya is taking care of the other parts of child rearing, like making sure the child is fed and bathed and not sticky. And
I mean, having kids, I understand. Yes, that makes sense.
Is she the like lady in waiting for the queen?
that was my idea. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah,
That's
I mean,
awesome.
okay.
Yeah.
So, for all the stuff that doesn't require sharp, pointy objects.
Yeah, I mean, Alacritus is this mostly like this. I need you to think. I'll give you like some very obscure, obtuse question to ponder, and I want to answer that you will never get right. It's just like,
It's like,
I
I'm
want you to
8.
ponder this nonsense question.
Yeah.
I'm
And
sorry.
I'm maybe like crying as I'm trying to read this. It's like I don't understand it. And is that when what's your character's name?
Oh,
Tanya.
Tanya?
Like,
Yes.
do you comfort him when he's like crying and stuff that he
Yeah.
can't figure out this incredibly complicated book or something?
Yeah, I think Tanya would come over to Alacritus and Perin and just say, my apologies, Master Alacritus, but I must borrow your pupil. Perin, it is supper time. Come along.
Yes,
like-
of course.
Yeah.
Swift
And he's
rescue.
like,
Perhaps a
wait, but he's like,
meal, perhaps a meal and some thoughts will shake loose the cobwebs.
and yeah, Perrin holds out his hand to Tanya.
Yeah, just like
when
takes him by the hand and gently guides him away from Alacritus.
Tanya, I'm trying so hard, but it's so many words, and there's so much to learn, and every time I give an answer, he looks disapproving and shakes his head. I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
He has resting, disapproving face, boy. And Adamus is in the corner, like stropping his knife, like to sharpen it and stuff.
Yeah.
You're not
No
doing
worries.
anything wrong. He's just like that. Try
Yes.
your hardest.
So
Keep working at it. You'll get there eventually.
I'll try. I'll do my best.
why does she lie to me?
This is how you comfort children.
I don't think of children at all until this task was set upon me.
Let's see if we can
He
find you
won't
a
be a
bit of.
child. Okay.
Alright, to Perrin, like, let's see if we can find you a bit of honey for your tea. Just like
He looks
we'll
very
feed the
excited all of
child
a sudden,
sugar.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, his whole
I'm
mood just
trying to
turns
look
around.
disapproving. I don't know if I'm doing.
No. You have a resting, disapproving face. We've already established this.
I'm just trying to look disapproving. I'm not sure if I'm pulling it off.
No, it's fine. All right.
Okay, cool.
I had one kind of out of character question, and that is specifically for Master Alacritus and Adamus. What is your character wearing? Like, are you in armor? Are you in robes?
I don't think he's necessarily in robes, but he's wearing it's like it's just like a nice tunic, pants because we're traveling. Um, I think some sort of brooch that would show his station. There would be probably symbols like embroidered symbols of magic in his clothing.
Nice, nice, nice.
Very cool.
And I think Adamus has like leather gauntlets which hide like, kind of like metal bands inside, like to just in case he's got to protect that way. And then pardon. He's got the over tunic thing, but I think underneath is like, some thin leather armor. So that's what he has. And then of course he has his not bandolier. He has like a sword at his back. He has like, the knife at his boot. Two knives probably. And then like, any other bunch of things that he has like, in his like utility belt, whatever. I mean, like, he's the bodyguard. He's gonna have some shit. So, and he's got the spare knife, spare dagger to give to Perin or to train Perin with. Yep.
Okay.
And he's got longish brown hair, like a rugged face with like, the out. It's not a beard. What do we call it?
Stubble.
Stubble, yeah, and then
Yeah.
like, like a very simple mustache or whatever. But yeah, I mean, like he's pretty put together, but like definitely rugged, definitely a trainer, not a courtier or anything like that. So
Perin just
Yeah,
has
so
like
I
a
imagine.
well, go ahead.
Oh, no. Go.
I was gonna say Perin has like the classic pages outfit, like the over the white tunic and the pants and everything, and but it's a little too big for him because it was kind of a hand-me-down from his much larger brothers. So he always looks like he's kind of swallowed up in it a little bit. And he has like a very unflattering page haircut as well. So
Okay.
Yeah, so I would like this add, like I think like Alacritus has his hair cut short, but he has like uh it's not like a Fu Manchu, but it is a little down enough that you could stroke me in thought, but not like down to his like belly button or anything.
You've kind of got the Gandalf going on.
Yeah.
Nice,
very
nice.
classic wizard.
Yes. I think, unlike all of y'all, Tanya's wearing a skirt. She's got like leggings under, but there is no reason for a lady in waiting to be wearing armor. So yeah, she's wearing a skirt. The hem of the skirt almost reaches the floor, and there's like 6 inches of mud just rising up the skirt. Uh, I think she's also got a utility belt, but instead of carrying daggers, she's carrying things like a fork and spoon, needle and thread, lots of napkins. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
and honey, little honey vials for a dutiful and well behaved child.
Yes.
Mhm.
Little bits of
Yeah.
honeycomb.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I also imagine that Alacritus doesn't have mud on him at all, despite it should be. Just like that, very like a lot of stuff about Alacritus is just like passively annoying. It's like when everyone has a little bit of mud, his clothes are like perfectly clean.
Yeah. And it's like we just walked through mud, and Perin is like coated in mud, and he's like, "How are you queen? It doesn't make it. It must be sorcery. That's all you can figure.
Yeah,
Is that what
Adamus
magic is?
Yeah.
I don't know."
keeps your clothes clean. Yeah, right. It's like, Adamus will kind of like wink at you, Perrin, and kind of like, do that what is it, like that throwing motion, but like, just to kind of as he's clearing off like some of the dirt off of his blade, kind of like conveniently flicks it to Alacritus and it doesn't stick. That's magic, boy.
Yes, perfect crease magic is one of the first things Alacritus learned. That's why.
Hey, sewing spells, man. They're worth it.
Right?
Sure. Absolutely. All right. Whose turn is it? Do we remember?
It's John's turn.
Okay.
Okay. So is there a discard pile?
The one that's on the bottom. Like this,
Okay.
there you go.
Okay. The
Wow,
queen is
let's
responsible. The queen is responsible for the death of someone you loved. What happened?
I
just
don't
go real
remember
heavy.
ever getting this question. Well, I don't remember getting this question. I think other people
I
have
remember this question, but like not the second card. Really, is the like this? Okay.
I kind of like it though. I
Oh
mean,
my
it's up to
god.
Yeah.
you. You can always
You've
exit.
got history. Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Oh man.
Oh
Like.
man. And again, remember, John, like out of character, you
Mhm,
do not have to be the one to answer this. You can always ask the next
mhm.
person.
You could pass
Oh
it.
no.
Oh no, I'm just trying to think of what the answer is.
Oh shit.
Oh man, after hearing Gandalf, a part of me was like, the queen is responsible for the death of someone you love. That death was one of the mystic creatures, the spirit hawk, which is a large magnificent bird.
Hmm.
And I
Uh,
and because it was seen as dangerous, she had her forces had it slain.
and I think
And mhm.
Perin, who doesn't know what he's saying when he brings it up, he's like, "Oh, what is this bird?" And he points to you in the tome. It's like, "I thought this was extinct. I thought Mother had them all driven off. Can you tell me more about it?"
To the best of my knowledge, they are extinct. Thanks to the kingdom and and they were driven and they were hunted down and slain for concerns that the powerful creature could be a danger to the kingdom. Not all opinions thought of them as being a danger. It is one
That
of the
makes me
few. Oh, it is another case of things that brought wonder to this world just fading away into obscurity.
Magister. I know you say that I should be a strong scholar, but that makes me feel sad that this
As
beautiful
it
thing is missing from the world.
as it should. A world without wonder is a world that is much diminished, and this world is less for the loss of such a creature.
Perhaps there is still one out there, and we shall see it on our journey.
Perhaps, perhaps not.
And
If
if
you're fortunate to see it, count yourself lucky.
and Adamus may like rock up at the moment and then say, well, if there are any of these birds left, then I am under orders to make sure that there isn't.
No,
That
no,
is
you
by
can't.
that is by the orders of your mother, the queen, Perin.
But that must be a mistake. I'm going to go find. I will find Mother and
He
tell
will
her that she is wrong.
he will stay you like on your shoulder, like a very like, rugged, like gnarled hand on your shoulder and say, "Look, she has had to make decisions that have seemed cruel and unyielding, but these birds, they were beginning to overrun the kingdom. With no checks, no predators being able to keep them from. Do you know what the spirit hawks do, boy? Has Magister Alacritus told you?
No, I just asked him a question.
And then this is where, like, Adamus will turn to you and say, Tell him. Tell him why these birds, as wondrous as they are a danger in mass numbers.
Danger. I couldn't say that they are a danger, but like humans, they want to protect their nest or the things that they value. And human society tends to want to spread, and that creates conflict. And fear of this creature, like many things, leads to violence. And so they were afraid of the creatures because they defended themselves. They are much more powerful than usual birds because they possess, as their name suggests, spiritual energy. And while yes, they are a danger to things that are a threat to them, every something that is a potential threat isn't the same as something that's an actual threat. Perhaps if expansion wasn't so apparent, then the conflict would never happen. But this is a matter of there's something that has power that we don't not control. As many things, as with many things with humans, fear leads to violence. So remember when you eventually one day lead, that if you lead by fear, let not other humans become afraid of you, or you will go, as the idiom goes, the way of the spirit hawk.
It's not the whole story, Perin. They
It
are
is
just as territorial as humans. When they nest upon human homes and then claim that territory, they burn those that live there, unchecked. You cannot tell me that we could not try to keep them from overrunning us completely. And this is where he turns to you, Perin, like, and looks you in the eye. There would
I
be
think
no
Perrin's eyes are
kingdom.
closed, actually.
Okay. Well, he tries to.
He's he,
Yeah, and he
yeah.
sees that, and he just says,
You
"It's
you
like,
can say that though.
yeah,
yeah.
there would be no kingdom if we didn't, if we didn't take control. I'm sorry."
Perrin is like he has his head, clasped over his hands, and he's mouthing silent prayers for the souls of the spirit hawks because Magister Alacritus said that they had spirits, and he's just like kind of shaking back and forth. And this would be in the telltale game for both of you. Like Perrin will remember you said that. So
Farron will remember this.
yeah.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens to Adamus, because it's like, I don't think Adamus is going to be appearing in Hearts of Camelot.
We'll see.
So,
Perrin is adorable. I love him so
I
much.
know,
Oh,
he's
thank you
so
so much.
cute. Oh my god. Oh no.
Oh, but okay. Uh, next card.
Yes.
Oh, here we go. The queen had you punished once. What about the memory of that will stay with you forever? Ooh.
That's a
Okay.
juicy one.
Yes. Um, uh, I think uh Tanya is now kind of she's maybe a few years older than the queen, but not by much. So she's probably maybe pushing 40, give or take. So she's got a significant part of her life behind her. And I want to say that when she was young adult, so like 18 to 20-ish, uh, when the kingdom first started some of their expansionist policies, Tanya probably took objection to this. She wasn't really a part of court life before that point, but she had been one of the agitators saying, uh, you know, maybe we shouldn't be making war on our neighbors just because you want their resources. Like, there
Hmm.
are better ways to do that. And of course, the queen, having newly come to the throne and not yet accustomed to the balance of power necessary to maintain stability, kind of swung too far and decided that Tanya should be made an example of. So the queen had Tanya probably brought into her court uh, and in front of all of the like nobles or I don't know, whatever courtiers, uh, was about to mete out some punishment. I don't know. What's a good punishment? Flogging, maybe?
Banishment, yeah, flogging.
Yeah. Well, I know for sure Tanya wasn't banished because that wouldn't make sense.
That's right.
Um,
Well, you said
Yeah,
about
I
to, so
mean,
I didn't know if it was canceled, but
yeah. I want to say uh the queen got there and uh the queen was just seated upon her throne and she was about to have uh some lackey uh do this for her. You know, it is her prerogative to give the orders and somebody else carries them out.
hmm,
And Tanya taunted her,
hmm,
saying, "You do not have the courage to do it yourself. If you wish to be this cruel to your subjects, you must do it yourself." And the queen, not wanting to back down from such a challenge issued in front of all her courtiers, got up there, picked up the flog herself, swung it exactly once, and stopped.
hmm,
Uh, and at that point, the queen realizes maybe this is not the smartest way to run my kingdom.
hmm,
And so the follow up from that, like we time skip a little bit, is that the queen realized maybe being cruel to my subjects does not teach the lesson that I want. Maybe there's
hmm,
better ways to do this. So Tanya wound up serving the queen partly to be that like argumentative voice of, hey, maybe this isn't the smartest way to do things, and
hmm,
partly because the queen wants to keep Tanya where she can see her
hmm.
and like not let Tanya go beyond that because yeah, exactly. Enemies closer is a good way to say it. Now, it's been like 20 years, so they've mellowed. And as the queen has held her throne, she's come to maintain her own sense of balance on what's right and what she wants. Tanya's mellowed a lot. Taking care of kids has
Mhm.
has also changed that. Not her own kids, but Perin's got brothers. So,
Mhm.
uh,
I want, you can feel free to change this up or disregard it, but I wonder if there was a time when Perrin was sparring and Adamus came really close to nearly hitting him with the training sword, and I saw you flinch, and maybe I thought that you were disappointed in me, like, oh no, I failed at the sparring, but it was really like you were remembering that moment with the queen.
oh, I love that. Yes. Yes. I feel like the fallout from that would be Tanya kind of catching her breath, going,
Mhm.
No, you did well. You did well.
Mhm.
It wasn't you, I promise. I just it reminded me of something painful. So no, like kind of puts hands on your
Mhm.
shoulders. You did not fail. You
Mhm.
did remarkably well. And when you're sparring, that is the time to make your mistakes and learn. Please don't worry about me.
And he
think
just like gives you a big hug. He's like, thank you so much. I'll always listen to what you say.
I
Oh,
think this is where Adamus is going to like kind of stand up from from where he was, uh, and kind of give you like put his hands on his hips and give you a measured look. Yes, this is the place where he will learn. Makes me wonder what occasion gave you pause to learn such a thing as well. Because I don't think Adamus is from here. I always tend to play the person that's like the outsider, like kind of brought in and
Mm.
stuff. So I
mm,
think, yeah, I don't think Adamus was there for that.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think Tanya would tell Adamus, well, I did not learn in sparring, a place to safely make mistakes and have your tutor instruct you on how to do better. I made my mistakes out in the world, and those lessons, I will never forget those lessons. Better to make mistakes here.
The world is a hard teacher.
Yes, it is.
And he'll still look at you with like that consideration, like, huh, interesting. Yeah.
Far be it from a lady to reveal anything.
You actually say that out loud?
No, this is just out of character. Just uh
I mean, because you might actually get a little laugh out of him. So I don't know
oh,
whether you've heard him laugh before, but I mean, like you might
oh. I
you
don't
might do
know how
so.
well Tanya actually knows Adamus. Because like they work together to care for Perin, but beyond that, I don't know
I mean,
how much.
he's around for obviously he's the queen's actual bodyguard, so I mean, like he's around for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, like in terms of you frittering in, taking care of the queen, frittering out. I mean, like I don't know. But
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, like for the care that like in close quarters like this, it's like I don't think he can
Mm.
help but notice.
Okay, yeah,
Mm.
yeah. I
Yeah.
think Tanya would stand up because she had been kneeling to talk to Perrin,
Hmm.
and just looks at Adamus and says, I don't know if you've had to learn hard lessons from life, but and kind of looks down at the floor, lost in thought for a moment, and then looks up like at Adamus very directly and says, some lessons cannot be forgotten. Just like very hard voice that she almost never uses, of like
Mm.
there is some bite in her still. Maybe not as much as there used to be, but there's a little bit.
Right. And then again, I think he's really looking at you at this point
Mm.
and just like, a lot more spirit than I would have given you credit for. And for that, I apologize. And he will put his hand on his heart and give you a little bow.
She curtsies, which is hard to do while seated, but yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Other questions? I'm sorry this took a while.
No,
No, that's good. I loved
That's
it.
fine.
this is why
I
it
was
will
just
take
like,
longer than 30 minutes.
if we're having fun with the scene, we don't have to rush through it. Yeah, I mean, I think we're all into it. We were just like watching it play out.
Yeah. I mean, if we think that's a good end for that, then we can
Hmm.
go on to the next question.
Hmm.
Okay. Yeah, man.
Oh
Oh
my God.
no. Okay, that's a
Just
no.
going hard on this
Yeah,
one.
no. I am X carding that unless somebody thinks that they want it. Because
No.
Yeah,
no,
I'm gonna
Nope.
take it. No, I'm not gonna ambush
Yeah,
my
yeah.
mom.
not
Oh my
Perin.
I've been
God!
plotting the
This
whole
child
time.
just tricking us
No.
the entire time.
For the
Oh
recording,
God!
the question was you arranged for the
Yeah,
queen to be ambushed on the journey. It's like, no, that does not apply to Adamus.
Oh,
yeah,
Queen's
Okay, well,
bodyguard
so we're
to
X carding that one.
Yeah, we're
Okay,
X
that's
carding
fair.
that
yeah.
one for sure. Okay, I'm gonna move that aside. Thank you very much.
That's so funny.
That's hilarious. Holy shit.
Like I
it
would
does
like to hear Perin answer this. Like this child, super genius.
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
mean,
god. No.
Perrin might have arranged for the queen to be ambushed by fluffy bunnies or something.
Oh my god.
The only thing I could think of was like if he got manipulated by someone, but I don't like if the
Like, oh,
bishop
look at
had been
this.
trying to set her up for an ambush, but I don't think that he'd have that influence to set up the journey or anything. So
No,
it doesn't
no,
really make a lot of
Like,
sense.
no.
He's
look what
8.
Alacritus
Yeah.
found. A baby spirit hawk. Oh, look,
Right.
Perin, I want to give this to you. You should show it to the queen.
Stop it. Okay, stop it.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, I
no,
just
no,
don't. I
no.
can't see it making sense. Basically.
Yeah.
No, it wouldn't make any sense. It'll be
Yeah. Alrighty, I'm gonna turn another card over. Thank you.
Yeah.
If this was Hearts of Wulin, maybe, but yeah.
Oh well, right.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Hearts of Wulin. Damn. All right. When did you know you were in love with the queen? Oh man. I think I
remember you
knew.
can
I'm not
pass
gonna
it to
pass
someone
it.
else. I
I'm not.
figured.
No.
Yeah, she's just thinking.
I just said it. I knew you weren't going to pass.
I think I knew when I was jealous of Tanya. That simple gesture of the gifting of the flower. She only acknowledges me as her protection, as the one who is there to guard her body and spirit. I can love from afar. I don't need to be acknowledged. It's fine. I am of the lands north from here, and we do not show how we feel, because it makes for too difficult a time if we must leave, or we are killed prematurely. So, yes, I admit it to myself that I love my queen, even though she is not of my people. I acknowledge my duty, and I will keep it to myself.
Any of us overhear you?
I mean, like maybe Perin, like, cause
Mm. Yeah, but I don't know what he would do about that. Just like gasp, like, yeah, he probably was listening in, because he's just so curious and it's boring around camp, and
Yeah.
it's the one time he gets a chance to kind of be a kid. So maybe he was coming to see you about something.
Yeah, and basically, like Adamus was probably training by himself, and he just kind of worked himself into a I'm gonna say it. It's like he worked himself into a lather, like just trying to work it out of his system. And he just ended up talking to himself, and then you overheard what he said. Because, like, he was just kind of collapsed, maybe in the grove of trees where he goes to practice, you know, on this journey.
So what would
I yeah,
Adamus? Oh, sorry.
I just don't think Perrin would bring it up to you. I think maybe days later he would look at you kind of funny a couple times and almost say something, but then he just can't bring himself to. But he does feel like a mix of sorry for you and angry that you're like into his mom, or like all these complicated emotions because he's so young, right?
Right,
He
right.
doesn't know how to really process it.
All right. So what does Adamus think people would how how does Adamus think people would react to that knowledge of his feelings for the queen?
Perhaps derisively, because his people would not, want that kind of emotion shown except in a very intimate way. And there's no way that he's going to ever be that intimate with the queen, you know?
Mhm.
So,
For Adamas's people, do they have the same kind of, I guess, devotion fueling their love for their ruler? Because remember, the queen's retinue on this party was chosen because she knows that everyone involved loves her to some extent. So that was part of why this party was picked.
right.
Uh, so is
But I
that
mean, like,
normal in Adamas's homeland?
I mean, it's like love of duty, basically. It's like it's taken as writ that, you know, um, in positions like this for the tribal leaders, not necessarily like, one governing monarch or whatever. I mean, like for the tribal leaders, it's like there's always the one that is the trusted bodyguard kind of situation. And I think this was a deal long ago of a trade of some sort. Like so much of passage, like safety and passage through the Northlands, and then like, somebody or several people would come to this kingdom and then or queendom whatever and be able to yeah, have a place here.
Yeah. So I'm getting the impression, and please correct me, that Adamas was kind of this was kind of like a job, or like he expected it to be very dispassionate when he started, and then found himself falling for the queen, and it was kind of a surprise
Yeah.
when he's like, wait, oh crap,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, the oh crap was definitely it. I mean, like, he didn't expect to, you know, love her in like that particular way as man and woman, but I mean, like, he's just been kind of like doing his thing. Like, he's the bodyguard,
Hmm.
so he's been doing the bodyguarding and such. But he has not been acknowledging any feelings until, you know, that particular moment with the flower gift. Um,
I, I I think I'm gonna tweak how Perrin reacts a little bit because I had
sure.
a thought
Okay, go ahead.
um in the way that kids act. So, this is about a week later,
Okay.
and you're on the road together, sort of, and maybe he's riding behind you, and Perrin just starts asking you if you have any children, if you ever wanted any kids, because he's thinking like, well, maybe Adamus could be my dad, you know.
Oh God. Oh. Um.
Yeah. But he doesn't come out and say that. He just starts
No. No.
asking
No.
you a lot of questions about your
Sure.
family and
Sure. Um. uh. I think you're riding behind him, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. I think Adamas is riding along, like thinking about it. Like he kind of like will look back at you, like just to acknowledge that he heard you, but he has to think about it, and then he will kind of like kind of beckon you forward, like, so you can like be next to each other. And he'll say, I was one of many in a brood. I and my brothers, our family has always been entrusted with guarding tribal leaders. And I guess one could say it's a family concern. And they eventually got out of it and started having their own broods, their own families. And I think my feet wandered too much for that. When they asked me to be one of the people that was brought here to ensure safe passage and as a trade for your people, I decided to stay.
Oh. Well, you can be part of our family, Adamus, me and Roderick and Mother and I forget our other brother's name, the prince.
I know he tends to bully you too much. I'd forget his name too. I forget my eldest brother's name because he was such a piece of shit. Don't tell your mother I said that.
Oh no, I love him. I love my family, and I would love you too.
And he just like kind of swings around in his saddle and just kind of looks at you. It's like, you,
It's okay.
no,
We don't have to talk about it anymore. I'm sorry. I made you
no,
uncomfortable.
no, I just am very, very surprised. I didn't think that well, your brothers have hard heads. You at least seem like you are willing to learn, both from Magister Alacritus as well as from me. So I consider you companionable. I just didn't think that you even thought of me at all.
He like gives you a big squeeze on your hand. He's like, of course, you mean so much to me, and I keep you in my prayers every night and every morning.
You are a good child, Perin. Regardless of what happens on this mission or in the future, don't change. Let the world battle and flow around you, but always. And he hesitates because he wants to say it, but he's not sure if he's saying it right. Always be kind.
Cool.
Any other inquiries in and out of character?
Out of character, can we take a bio break?
Absolutely. Sorry. I mean, like, I meant to do it, but I was just like, okay. Yeah, so let's do 10 minutes. Yeah.
All right. I also had one character interaction that I wanted to do. We can do it afterwards if you want to wait.
Yeah, let's do it after the 10-minute break. Okay. So see you in 10.
Yep.
Okay.
We are back, and I think it is Noctua's turn.
Yes.
Oh wait, no, it's
I had
hold on, it was me. I can't even remember. I'm sorry. I
it's just that
love.
Noctua had another character moment, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, for Adamus on that same topic.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Tanya is going to find Adamus at some point, probably when they've camped for one evening,
Mhm.
and like very delicately sit beside him and arrange her skirts and say, without looking at him, just kind of staring off into the distance, very quietly, you know, there are some times when you're looking at Vivienne, you get a faraway look in your eyes, yearning almost, or longing. You're subtle, I'll give you that. But I want you to know it does her good to be reminded that she is simply a woman sometimes. She spends her whole life being Her Majesty. A few stolen moments when she can be not the Queen and simply a woman may do her some good.
I think you've caught Adamus over by a tree, and he's kind of like in the posture of like trying to relax. Like, he's, got his hands behind his head, his eyes are closed, and you're not looking at him, but he's kind of looking at you like through one eye open and listening to what you're saying. I am not going to grace your thoughts with a confirmation or a denial, but what makes you think that I should be the one to provide such moments with our queen?
Well, of course, I'm overstepping here, so if I'm wrong, please tell me to drop it and I will. But I certainly do not love our queen the same way you do. The bond I have with her is old and complicated, but not the same as the one you have with her. And what you have is something I cannot offer her.
He kind of he kind of makes a sound like somewhere between a sigh and a snort. And you think she would accept anything I would have to give? Really? You were the one gifted with that flower.
Tanya kind of smiles. Uh, a flower for duty, for helping her. But
I
certainly,
guess
I love our queen, but our relationship is different. Many and many a year ago, the queen realized she had become her role. She lost Vivienne to become Her Majesty. She needed a friend, someone to call her by her name, to tell her to take off the crown and remember she is a person, someone to be brutally honest to her face when she was being an idiot, someone who wasn't threatened of her power or her station. And that was a role I could fulfill for her. But I was never her. It just kind of trails off like you can tell that the part that Tanya's not saying is I was never her lover, but she doesn't actually like bring herself to say it. She kind of leaves it implied.
I think this is where he pushes himself up onto his, into a sitting position and kind of will put his hands on his knees. My pardons. I guess flowers, the gift of flowers means something much different to my people than it does for yours. I guess I was misunderstanding.
Here, if you are given a rose, then you can be sure of your intended. Other flowers have other meanings. Some for friendship, some for enmity. You can send your most hated enemy a bouquet. A lotus flower is for duty, is for friendship, and for keeping true to an ideal. And that is all. So, just know, if you want to speak to Vivian, I'm not standing in your way. If you would like me to speak to Vivian on your behalf, I'd be happy to do so.
And he just has this look on his face like, do I dare? Do I take you? I mean, and then like he's a little bit sus of you. It's like, why are you offering me this? What's in it for you?
It has been my solemn duty over the past 2 decades to forcibly remind our queen that she is more than the title she bears. And the few moments of true human connection she finds unburdened by the political maneuverings of her enemies are few and far between, and have been getting fewer as her children grow. A true moment of connection with someone who cares for her genuinely and not just about her station would serve to remind her of that. And it has been a long time since she's had something like that. I think it would do her good, and it would certainly ease your pining.
It's a secret I thought I would have to take to my grave. I don't know if I dare even hope, even with your help.
I shall not betray your confidence. If you do not wish to act upon it, I shan't say a word. But know that, tacitly, at least, I wish you the best of luck if you wish to pursue this.
You've given me much to think about. I will consider what you've said and see if I even remotely dare.
Please do. And I shall let the matter rest until or unless you decide otherwise.
I thank you, Tanya.
She just inclines her head and will gather her skirts, stand up, inclines her head to you once more.
And he'll dust himself off soon after to take his post by the queen's tent.
Tanya probably has to go make sure Perin hasn't gotten into all the sweets.
Yeah, I think Master Alacritus did want to had an inquiry for Ah man, Adamus.
Adamus?
Hmm.
Adamus, yes.
Okay.
And I don't know when this would have been before or after, but he would probably approach after at least seeing Adamus talking to Perin, and maybe also um, the Tanya. So he, he'll approach and you you seem to have done well to ingratiate yourself in this kingdom. But I had a question for you. Were you not a ward initially? Or did you come here of your own come to the queen's side of your own volition? I know that there's bad blood between your tribes in this kingdom, and I just always wondered that question. And out of character, when I say ward, I mean kind of like the exchange of like important figures,
Sure,
to try
sure.
to
Yeah.
ensure loyalty type. That's what.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Uh, hmm. He considers your question, Alacritus, and he just will acknowledge and say, yes, my peoples have had a bit of a history, yes, of perhaps not bad blood, but misunderstandings of goals and intent. And this was a way to ensure that there would be the sowing of goodwill, the trade, some to act as emissaries as well as, again, good faith. And I and my companions were asked to volunteer. And we did. We left our homelands of our own volition to make our way in this kingdom. I did not choose to be part of the Queen's retinue. I was chosen. I do not
Yes.
know if that satisfies enough of your curiosity.
I'm just happy to. I'm voice. I'm just happy to see that whatever misunderstanding between your two kingdoms has not prevented you to become as close as you have become with the child and the queen herself. Even Tanya, I've noticed. It is good that you were able to let go of whatever it is that stands between your people to the north and the queen, and see you so well liked. I'm sure you find that useful, do you not?
I don't know about liked. I want to say appreciated, respected, and that should be enough. And he says enough with a bit of hesitation. So, if you will excuse me,
I,
Magister, I think I must tend to my duties, as I'm sure you do as well.
oh, I appreciate you answering my questions. I'm sorry if my inquiries are unwelcome. I
No,
will take my leave.
he'll just put his hand on his heart and then bow, and just kind of give you a
He's
look Like, like as you're leaving, like. Okay. So who's next? I'm sorry.
I think I am.
It's Alex.
Okay.
What brings out the queen's kindness?
Well, that's a good question. That's perfect for a parent.
Is it a little too perfect though?
Uh,
I honestly am curious about
yeah.
how Alacritus would answer that question. So
Oh,
I
okay.
might actually pass that because my answer is probably going to be less interesting than yours, basically.
Okay. Let me think for a second. What brings out the queen's kindness? I What brings out the queen's kindness? Mind you, I am the magister, so I'm in service, and I am from hail from another kingdom. I do not see her kindness as often as many, but how we in like our relationship with her family seems to draw kindness. If we, I don't know if it's that she values her brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles' opinion in these matters, but it seems as though if if other people in her family see the value in you, she's more open and willing to see it in those same people. I was able to help our father when he served the previous queen, and I have some relationship with her, much like Perin. And so I was able to see her, but when she was younger, and in that time, those that her father t- thought were good people, she tended to w- take that. She seemed to be able to see value in what she took counsel from her family, and if they thought well of someone, then she tended to show kindness to those people, or more readily to show kindness to those. I
I
don't
think
know if
there was
that's
a yeah, I think there was a time when Heron was very ill. He's probably like five-ish, and it wasn't certain that he was going to make it. And the queen was not coming by and visiting him. He kept calling, where's my mother? I want to see my mother. And she just, for whatever reason, was not coming by. And then someone counseled her about, oh, he's a good child. He's very knowledgeable. He'll make a good scholar, even if he'll never be a lawyer. Maybe it was Alacritus, maybe it was an uncle. But after that conversation, he woke up and she was by his bed, nursing him and singing a lullaby to him. So it was kind of a sweet moment, and he always will remember that. But what he didn't know was that she needed to be counseled to see the value in him as a child. So I wanted to just turn that a little bit.
yeah.
Yeah, I
She
was gonna
she
ask if
cuts
that
it
was
on and
part of it.
off.
I was gonna ask if it was because she was a mother, or it was because it's like, somebody like brought out her duty to being a mother. Oh God.
I mean, there's still some love there, but it was conditional, I
Yeah.
think.
Mm.
Hmm. She had maybe had this thought what was best for her was to distance herself from the central pain as opposed to showing comfort that
Right,
to
right.
someone who was ill. All
Has
right.
she
So I
shown
don't know if
has
there's any
has
questions
she
for me.
yeah, has she shown such kindness to you, Magister Alacritus?
Yes, she has on occasion. Um, I believe it took some time because as a child, she's not like Perin. She did not take well to the things that I had to teach her, or my methods of education. That seems to fortunately have been taken better by the child, but she was not particularly. I can't think of the word. She was not particularly. She wasn't particularly a great student, and I don't. I doubt it was my teaching methods. So, but I digress. But I
Inquisitive,
at some point,
curious.
yes. But I think because of her curiosity, eventually we we developed a rapport,
Hmm.
and I believe that in time, our rapport. I won't go so far as to say that we're friendship, but at least the respect that she doesn't offer to many. And in that respect, I she's done a kindness to me on a few occasions when not while I do not approve of what she did with the Spirit Hawks. There has been times when she has shown mercy or allowed me an opportunity to resolve a situation without resulting to use of Adamus and her troops or some other methodology to remove the precious creatures of this land. And I consider that a kindness. I don't know how much more interesting that is, but yeah.
I'm good if we want to go over to Noctua.
Hmm.
Yeah. All right, let's pull the next one. Ooh. Okay, so kind of related actually.
Yeah.
What's with this
When
thing in
was the
kindness? It's like it's almost like the
They're
universe
like,
said,
no, we
"Kind, we're
don't
gonna
want you
call
to
the
move
questions."
on. You
Yes.
know?
All right.
Oh my
You're
God.
like,
Yeah. Um, so the question is, when was the last time the Queen showed you real kindness? Now, I think for Tanya, we have an answer. We all remember the Queen giving her a flower. I want to hear Adamus answer this one.
I'm also just kind of laughing because the game is like, oh, you'll get through, half the deck in 30 minutes, and we're on number 7.
I know, it's great. I love the fact that we can see the numbers. It's just like,
Yes.
yeah. Anyway, yeah, I think, oh I think this actually happened after Tanya talked with Adamus. Maybe she ended up being his wingman after all. Who knows?
Hmm.
But I think there was a particular training session with Perin, and like me, maybe he was just being really, and you can say if this is okay or not, Alex, but I think like Perin was like feeling like really really ornery that day, and
Hmm.
maybe he got hopped up on like a bunch of of honey vials. And
I mean,
so
yeah.
like he was being very very intractable and just like kind of like not having any of it and just didn't want to get trained that day and was like doing sprints like as if no, not kind of just like like just whatever, and just being a kid, which is fine. I mean, like, and I think like Adamus
Mm-hmm.
just kind of got tired and said, "Oh, fine. Go then. If you
Hmm.
want something better to do, then just see to your studies." I mean, I don't think Magister Alacritus is going to be as kind as I will,
Ah!
leading you.
He like just throws down the sparring sword. I hate this. I hate you. Ah! And of course he doesn't. He's just being a petulant little kid. But
Oh
he
yeah,
runs
no, no,
off.
and I think he knows. I think he knows. I mean, like, he's just kind of like he slowly goes and picks up the training sword or whatever, and then he kind of cleans up after the you know the the rest of the equipment that he had you use. And I think this is where Vivian, not the queen, but Vivian, will come up, and she will provide Adamus with a towel and like maybe a bucket with like one of those ladles for water, and tenderly offer it up to him, seeing he's like again like worked himself into an unproductive sweat, trying to train Perrin, and she actually would apologize for um, his being a bit ornery this morning, and say that it was actually her fault because um, she had maybe spent some time with Perrin a little bit, but then kind of gave him too many of those honey vials that he said that yes, Miss Tanya had said that he could totally have whenever he wanted, and she fell for it. And anyway, so yeah, she's just talking to him and then like ladling out some water for him to drink, and he makes to take the towel from her to kind of like wipe the sweat off his brow and around his neck, and like it's just feeling gross. But then she does it. She has him sit down, and then she will gently pat the towel on all the spots that like sweat has beaded on his brow, along his neck, and maybe she gets really close to him and then just looks like she's going to say something or kiss him, who the hell knows. But yeah, I think somebody happens along or something happens, but then it was just like it was a wonderful gesture, and he smiles at her and says, "Thank you. I appreciate it. I thank you." And he will, yeah, take the towel from her and, um, you know, go along his way, because I think he's also starting to turn beet red, and it's not from sweating so hard in the sun.
Yeah.
At least you have that as an excuse, though.
Right.
So yeah, that's the last time.
I love that so much.
Any questions? In character or no? Do you think parents like came back and saw it? Just
That
out
was going to be
No,
my
I
next
don't think
question.
so. I think he was in such a petulant mood. He was
Okay.
sulking the rest of the day.
Oh
And,
no!
he probably apologized
Oh,
to
no.
you later,
Yeah.
of course.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
Yeah, because my question was going to be, does this moment get interrupted by anyone?
Well, in a way, it did. I mean, like, because
Mm,
whatever she was gonna say, whatever she was gonna do,
mm,
didn't happen. But
mm.
he got to
Oh,
thank
I'm
her.
sorry, I should have been more specific. Does the moment get interrupted by anyone else?
Oh,
No, I don't think so. I like how it ended there.
Mm, okay.
I I think if Tanya does see it, she's staying very far away. Like she
Mm,
wants to give Adamus his best shot, so
oh,
she's not interrupting.
I
mm,
know.
mm,
Oh
Goddamn.
man,
mm. Yeah.
trying to imagine her hiding behind a tree, fist
Oh yeah,
pumping.
right.
Yes.
Spy.
Uh, the Magister could be in like animal form or something.
Oh
I don't
shit.
know.
Oh no,
Ooh.
that's why I was asking the question. I didn't want to just
Mm,
like say that was true or anything. Like, does
yeah.
anyone like? Yeah.
I mean, if
Does-
Magister, like, Alacritus catches any of that and, like, thinks anything, that I
Mm, mm.
No, I imagine that like Alacritus has like some bird spy who's coming and he's getting it like third hand like telephone from a bird.
Oh
He's like,
no.
so it's being funneled through the
Yeah.
reasoning of the bird that's telling him about what they saw.
Yeah.
Oh God, I can't even imagine what that is, what that's like. It's like, oh, I know what it is. It's like, the bird is telling you that that the queen is preening Adamus.
Right.
She
Yes.
gave him like something for his nest or whatever, and that's not
Right.
normal.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
She,
yes.
she like he displayed his delicate plumage and it turned bright red.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's so funny. Yep, yep.
The bird is convinced it's some
Fascinating.
kind of mating ritual.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm,
Well, they're not wrong.
not wrong. Oh my God. Okay,
All right,
Alex, go.
bringing it back.
All right,
Okay.
let's see. You have a personal connection to the land you are personally currently traveling through. What makes you want to stay and why don't you? I don't know if that makes sense for me. If I've always been, unless we're
Yeah, you can X
traveling
card it and
through
take something else.
Escavalen. Um,
I mean, if you have an interesting way to answer it, you totally can. You can totally X card it too.
Yeah, let me take
Unless
another one.
unless it's a more appropriate question for
I feel like
Alacritus.
what we could say is, are we leaving the kingdom of Escavalen? And that's why I'm so petulant, that
Oh
at
yeah,
first
maybe.
I was kind of like, oh yeah, I'm
Excited.
totally, Mom, I'm so happy to be going to this monastery and, outside of the kingdom and, never see you again. I'm so dutiful. But instead, he is thinking about, oh, I'll never see my friends again. And
Yeah,
like, what if mom gets hurt and I'm not there for her? And
yeah,
like even my brothers who I don't always get along with. So that's why he was in such a bad mood when you were sparring. Because
yeah.
this is the last day before we cross the border, maybe.
Hmm.
I think that is so true. So, well, obviously you said what makes you want to stay, and then why don't you? Well,
Does someone talk to him? I don't know.
I
Like
mean,
he's
I
do
in
you
mean,
his
I
think?
think
room, kind of.
Alacritus probably. I don't. It's like, what do you think it would be something that interrupted a lesson between him and Alacritus, or do you think that is someone like Tanya might have come to check on
No, I kind of
him
like
after
that.
he
Like
stormed off?
he went to tutoring because he's supposed to, but he wasn't able to focus on, he's just like getting angrier and angrier and just kind of like shaking. Um, Whether or you ask him or not, he's just like, it's not fair. I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave mom. I don't want to leave. I'll miss all of them. This is
Well, it
my home.
seems. Please sit. It seems that we are not going to get anywhere further with our lesson without a conversation. And seeing you have something you would like to get off your chest. Why we are only on this trip for this in, meeting between the queen and the other kingdom. We will return.
You
Like,
will
because
return.
he doesn't get what you're talking about. He doesn't really.
You all will return. You'll get to go home. Well, they'll get to go home. I know you this isn't your home, but I'm being sent away. Mother says I have to be a priest, and I won't be home for many years, and I thought I was okay with that because I'm strong and brave, but it just hurts, and I don't know what to do, and I don't. Why do I
You
have
have
to?
to.
Why can't it be one of my other brothers? Why can't I be big and strong like them? And then I could stay with mom and they could go away.
Oh, I'm afraid that this is it's tradition. It's not that you are big or strong. You will have an opportunity, and when you go to the priesthood to become stronger. But there are different kinds of strength. And the purpose of this opportunity is for you to discover your own strength. If you stay with your mother, you will always see you always need your mother's strength to protect yourself. You always need your mother's knowledge to think for you. The monastery will give you the opportunity to develop your own strength and your own knowledge so that you can better serve her when you return.
And yeah, he just gets quiet and he's thinking about it. I do want to be, I want to be wise and smart like you. Do you think, could you come visit me and teach me more, and maybe I can tell you what I've been learning there?
Well, the duties as a magister is requires me to travel, so I can always find time to come by your way when my travels bring me that way. But understand this, like you will have a chance to become your own man. And it sounds as though that is what you wish for. And
I do.
with go
And you know he does love learning, right? You've seen that in all of his tutoring. Like he really takes to
mhm,
books. So he is thinking about it, and you're kind of getting to him a little bit from that angle.
yes. Think of it this way. I'm trying to think. The fire swan, it leaves its home early and it's early and from the nest within weeks. And it may not see its parents again for nearly a century. But think of when you return, how many things you'll have to talk about. But think about it now. What do you talk to your mother about? How much life experience do you have to be able to share with her? And think if you go and join the monastery, become educated, and learn about the world, when you return, you will have a conversation that each of you will find engaging, and you'll an opportunity for each of you to learn about the differences. If you stay with her now, you'll forever be telling her about how you sparred the swordsman. I Adamus. I'm saying the swordsman because how you sparred the
Like dismissive,
swordsman.
yeah.
Or you
Yeah.
sip some honey. Your conversations will be there's no interesting conversations for her to be had. It would be repetitive, but you'll return with a wealth of conversation that would last the rest of your life.
He just like starts wiping his tears. Okay. I'll
And
be a fire swan, like you said.
uh,
And
yes,
when I come home, I'll be the wisest, smartest, war master you've ever seen.
yes,
I'll make you proud.
and probably a very handsome one. I look forward to seeing the way you change over the years, and I'm sure your mom will be proud of you. As proud as this is like as proud of you as I'm sure to be.
Aw,
Gosh.
I think we can end on that moment.
Yeah. I want to give Noctua a chance to answer one more question before we go right to the queen is under attack question. Okay?
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Let's do one more question. Um, let's see. Ooh, okay. What
This is a good one.
promise did the queen make to you before this journey? Do you think she'll keep it? Ooh, okay. I- I'm noodling on this because the way Tanya's relationship with the queen has grown over the years, Tanya has every faith that the queen will keep her word. They- their relationship was very contentious 20 years ago, but they've both grown a lot since then. I think okay. So the purpose of this quest is to secure an alliance with another kingdom and ostensibly maybe put an end to the untold years of war.
Hmm.
So I think the promise that the queen made was twofold. There
Hmm.
was the political aspect where the queen promised to start taking a more diplomatic approach to foreign relations, one that didn't involve aggressive negotiations with the sword.
Hmm.
So, from a political standpoint, the Queen has now agreed to try diplomacy
Hmm.
instead of, preemptive strikes with armored paladins. And I think on a more personal note, Tanya's incessant nagging of you cannot neglect your own needs for the sake of the crown. You've been doing so all your life and it's starting to show. Please spend time with your children. You know, learn to appreciate your family while you still have them. And I think not the queen, but Vivienne relented and said, okay, okay, fine, fine. If we get through this, I'll talk to my kids more. I'll I'll actually, take some time for myself. How about that? And Tanya's like, that's all I asked. Yeah.
Just leads into so much tragedy. Okay, great.
Hmm.
Um, so
Mhm.
I think so at this point, I mean, like we can say a little bit of time has passed, whatever, we're still on the journey. Maybe we dropped off Perin by now,
Hmm.
so um we pull out the card. The queen is under attack. Do you defend her? And we each answer this question. Perrin, I don't know if like you want to like, answer as yourself since you're at the monastery, I guess at this point, or you think this happens before you get dropped off.
Yeah, and
I feel like
it would be understandable if Perrin didn't defend her, being he's a child. But yeah, I think you do. I'm sorry.
no, I'm just trying to decide what's more interesting to me. Because I was thinking that he wanted to defend her,
Mm, mm.
like to call back to earlier with the sparring practice.
Yeah.
And but it depends on when the attack happened.
Yeah. I mean, like I'm just asking if you think that Perrin is, here or already at the
Yeah,
monastery.
I feel like it would be kind of cool if the ambush happened like right before they're supposed to drop him off.
Yeah. Okay.
mhm.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And maybe like in the aftermath, it's like the monastery is where we go to get taken care of if, whatever happens. So anyway, so the queen is under attack. Do you defend her? And like for Adamus, that is a like unmitigated, resounding yes. Maybe he's seeing more. He's seen more signs of her possible interest and attention and kindness. As the days have worn on since that after training incident, and I think he's grown closer to her. But I mean, also too, I think he's feeling a little guilty because since he's been so into her, I think maybe he let his guard down, so he didn't spot certain signs that he could have maybe earlier than he did, and so he definitely will defend her to the hilt, literally, and yeah, I mean, like taking on the ambushers, multiple at a time. But I think there's something that happens during this battle, and I mean, maybe not apparent right away. Maybe he takes an injury, maybe he takes a wound, but I don't think they find out until later that it's not something he can come back from. And this is where, like, when we go to the monastery, da 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 da. Yeah. Okay.
Perin does not defend the queen. He desperately wants to. As the chaos of this battle is going on, he pulls out the knife that Adamus had given him from earlier, and he keeps looking down at it, but his hands just shake so badly, and he ends up dropping it, and he turns and runs and flees into the woods, and they find him hiding a couple days later. And this is a moment that Perin will think about for many, many years, thinking like, if I had just been braver, maybe I could have, if not saved my mom, then saved Adamus from getting that wound. And it's something that he preys on a lot, and it kind of changes his entire character in certain ways.
I think Tanya would definitely defend the queen, but she is not a fighter. So she's like she's trying to like get the queen on a horse and be like, flee, run, go. No, it doesn't matter. I look for Perrin. Go. Like get yourself away. And it's one of those like I I don't have a sword. Like I'm not gonna stab the bad guy, but we do have horses, and yeah, Tanya's trying to get the queen to safety, and we'll pick up the pieces afterwards. Just don't die right now. Yeah. Uh, I think Tanya would notice that Perrin's just gone, of like, where'd he go? Oh, and, like sees him running off into the woods, and so knows that okay, I have to go find the child. It's understandable, but I have to go find the child. Yeah.
You're on mute.
Magister Alacritus definitely defends the queen. I was trying to look at the Hearts of Camelot to get some idea before I start describing something that's ridiculous. And so I think what he ends up doing is having to find some place where he can do a cast. Because I imagine it's not like D&D that throws a fireball or something. He has to find some place where he can hide outside of the fighting so he can chant the spell called like this basically, and it like kind of is draining after he's able to channel it. And just to do a callback to the earlier thing, I think he summons a spirit hawk to aid the queen. And before he finished, as he's finishing the cast, I think he's kind of like sort of collapses over on his side, exhausted from the toll the magic takes from him.
And just as an aside, I mean, sorcerer has moves for like controlling the elements, so you can do whatever the hell you want. I mean, like with very few caveats will I say you can't activate your magic if you parlay me correctly, or like parlay me
Yeah.
well. So
I feel like the real Alacritus has like all of the moves checked
mm,
off.
mm, mm,
Right.
mm.
All right.
Yeah.
Right,
And
right,
then fake
exactly.
Alacritus has
Yeah.
like one or two.
Right, right,
I
right,
was just trying
exactly.
to make sure I kept
Yeah.
in tone with the music, like,
The music.
does he summon the music? Does he
Yes.
summon a creature, or does he like
Mm.
summon a storm, or is this like, oh, this is like a huge flock of eagles somehow just show up? That couldn't you have summoned them in the first place? Well,
I will say that, like in Hearts of Camelot, there is there in the playbook, the errant, if it's still there, like they can
Mhm.
summon a gringolay, which is a special kind of horse, a special kind of steed.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, like
Yeah.
it is very possible. You just have to look at the moves
Hmm.
that you want to do. Okay, so we are coming
Yeah.
to time, but I want to leave. I want to if you can stay just a little bit longer. If you want to add like a little epilogue to your character, we can do that before we go into Stars and Wishes. So anybody have anything like else they want to say about their particular character before we go into debrief?
Okay. I guess the question is, does the queen survive?
Yes, I would imagine so because I would think she could possibly get injured along the way, but I think Tanya was successful in getting her on a damn horse and then like sending her to the
Hmm.
monastery because it was the closest place since we were going there anyway to get help or to at least it's a defensible position, let's put it that way. So, I mean, like she was
And
able
it
to
kind
get
of
to
makes
safety.
sense
Go ahead.
why maybe later on the monastery is so closely tied to our kingdom, because it's like, oh, they nurse the queen back to health or
Yeah.
provided her sanctuary or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. And that's why um Perin remained there and then,
Mhm.
did his duty.
Mhm.
But I don't think, again, as I said, I don't think Adamus had survived his wound. I mean, I think adrenaline, his training, all this kind of stuff, and his stoicism was not going to let him stop until he pretty much decimated the ranks of the ambushers. So I think it was only after, when all was said and done, that he collapsed and they discovered the wound, like maybe in his back.
Mhm.
That you know somebody got him, but then it was maybe a poison blade, who knows? But whatever it was, it's like I don't think Adamus made it to the rest of the journey, and one of his underlings had to take over. Do we think, just out of curiosity, do we think that the queen, I don't know.
Yes, or at least I'm imagining that the queen, when notified that Adamas's wounds were fatal,
Mm,
she would at least sit by his side and like
Mhm.
stay with him.
mhm.
Even if it doesn't escalate beyond that, she's just
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Just
Right.
Yeah,
knowing that hers is the face that he sees before he goes.
yeah,
I think that would be enough.
yeah,
Enough.
Kind of the same parallel to when she was sitting by Perin earlier.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. I feel like maybe there's a little bit of Tanya's words ringing in her head of like,
Mhm.
be, take those moments, care for the people around you, be human. It matters. Like just to spur her to, no, these people are important to you. You need to be
Mhm.
there for them.
Any last thoughts for Magister Alacritus and for Tanya?
Oh, well, I think Magister Alacritus will this will be there'll be like a no one really knows what happened to him. Like, there wasn't
Mhm.
ever a body found or anything like that. You don't know what happened to him, but at some point, Perrin will be in the monastery when
Mhm.
the bird that Alacritus had been talking to will flutter down and land on like a perch near wherever Perin is like praying at the time or something.
Oh, it's in Adamus's tomb, 100%. You know, he
Hmm.
likes to go there and pray and light candles for him and honor his memory and everything.
Yeah, so I imagine that at one of the days that maybe a week or month, who knows later, that bird that Magister Alacritus was seen chirping chirping to will land and like chirp noisily at the arrival of Perin.
Yeah, and I don't think Perin really understands it, but it provides him comfort, and he becomes someone who really enjoys spending time with animals in the natural world for that reason, and just trying to remember everything that his mentor taught him.
Tanya, anything?
Yeah, I think Tanya becomes uh, a lot more vocal with the queen, of not just encouraging her, but like I would like to think that uh, she insists that the queen come to the monastery once a year on this day, both to like put flowers on Adamus's grave and visit Perin, and like take the time to acknowledge these people in your life. And I think Tanya, functionally, she's still very much a lady in waiting, but she also takes on some more like counselor-like duties of like telling the queen, "You're being an idiot. Let's go."
Oh, I love
Love
that.
it.
Like
I
a
love that.
advisory role.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah,
yeah, very
yeah.
much.
I'm gonna have a
Cool.
question for you before we completely end. That do you think that Tanya remains as counselor when, say, the queen passes and our show becomes the new king?
Uh, you said Perrin is 8 right now?
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, maybe he's not king
yeah,
yet,
So
but maybe it's yeah.
yeah. That's feasible. Tanya would be old, like she'd be almost 65, 70 at that point. So she'd be very old.
Okay,
She's probably like hanging around the edge, but she's also too old to be doing this as her day job.
got it, got it. Okay,
yeah, but I would love, yeah, I'd love if she was an NPC or
yeah, I
Yeah,
think that would be lovely. Yeah, that would be
yeah,
great.
Mhm.
totally. Bring her
Cool,
back as an NPC.
awesome.
She, yeah.
You can put her in the NPC tab, and it's like if you come up with a picture for her, go for it. Okay,
Okay.
that'd
yeah,
be lovely for our Princess Bride character keeper.
yeah.
All right, lovely. So that is the end of our game of For the Queen. Oh my gosh. Stars for everyone. Oh
That
my,
was so cool.
that was
I loved
very
it.
cool. I mean, and just for the fact that we like, we started off like, yeah, we can do whatever, but then we ended up doing the prequel to our Hearts of Camelot game. I love companion games. Yes, yes. So, Star
That's
2.
part of the reason I was mentioning maybe we could do that because I figured because you were talking about wanting to do that sort of thing.
Mhm. So stars to Noctua for jumping in and just like getting such visible relish on all the
Mhm.
juicy questions. So that was lovely. And then oh Alex, you made Perin so adorable. I
Thank you.
mean, just love him to death. And then Jonn, Magister was like kind of like on the edge there. I was like, oh no, he's gonna be a snarky bastard. But I mean like, he ended up being like somewhat kind grandpa towards the end, so that was kind of cool.
I mean, you can be
Yeah.
a snarky bastard and a kind grandpa.
I
That
Don't
was,
give
guess
me
yeah, that's
both.
like Merlin's whole thing, right?
That's true. That's
Yes,
true.
yes.
Well, he had to mellow out because it's like, he got
Yeah.
trapped and shit. So I mean like yeah. Alrighty. Yeah. And then like, wishes of course. It's like, kind of carrying over this same kind of cool spirit for the Hearts of Camelot game itself. But I mean, this
Yeah.
particular game of For the Queen was wonderful. Absolutely wonderful.
No, it's stars for you, Mads, like doing this scrambling to do the new game. It worked out really well. I'm glad we were all still able to play. I think this is a great group. I'm excited to play with all of you. Like everyone was bringing their A game in terms of role playing and ideas and sharing the spotlight. That was super awesome. I'm really curious about Perin and Alacritus's like future relationship, particularly since it's not the real Alacritus. That's going to be really fun.
Yeah.
And
And
yeah,
will he
I
know?
want
That's
to.
my question. It's like, will Perrin know that that's not the real one?
Yeah, I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
want to see Tanya again for sure. I'm really
Oh my
excited
gosh.
about that. I want to visit Adamus's grave, or at least talk about him in character. So I'm cool. I'm very excited that all of these NPCs will continue to exist in some fashion in the game. That's really neat.
Yes.
I love that. I love calling back to people we enjoy. So
All right, stars for me. For Mads, just all the drama. I loved it so much. Um, and then for Jonn, I loved the Spirit Hawks because it was a brilliant bit of world building that really
Yeah.
expanded. Like, it's not just like a kingdom full of humans. It adds in so much like magic and the environment and how like the actions of the queen have been affecting all of us. And it was brilliant. Uh, and then Perrin was so cute. Like that bit about not wanting to go to the monastery was just so cute and so believable. I love that. Love that.
Yeah. Thank you.
wishes.
Appreciate it.
I really want to see these NPCs again. Like, I'd love to see Tanya come back. I want to know how Tanya's relationship with Perrin changes as Perrin grows up. And like,
Yeah,
because
because you've
she's
been
gonna,
visiting, like you said, once a
Yeah.
year, so we're still probably pretty close.
Yeah.
yeah. But there's also the way you interact with an 8-year-old child's not the way you interact with a grown man.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Tanya's always going to remember Perrin as this child she kind of helped raise, and at the same time have to acknowledge, like, I, I, I'm far too old to protect you from the world anymore. You have
Yeah.
to face it yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see the relationship between the brothers and Perrin
I'm
because
super looking forward to that. Yeah.
yeah.
We alluded to them off screen, but
Yeah.
I really want to see my relationship, particularly with Roderick,
Yeah.
but also a little bit with Archo too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jonn?
Okay, so stars. I mean, I always love playing for the Queen, but I really like how quickly we got to understand and see these characters, and they were really good characters. Everybody had the really interesting characters, and the role playing was amazing. I really liked some of how the questions seemed to have like they didn't like it didn't pull the random draw did not pull punches. It like jumped
Right.
right in immediately. And I thought some of the answers were because even with that, some of the answers became like really good answers. And the role playing that came from that was really I loved it. And so yeah, I think like everybody else, I'm looking forward. I am even more looking forward to the Hearts of Camelot game, especially having this in the background of it and seeing how this translates into the actual game. I'm just looking forward to that.
It's gonna
Yeah.
be exciting. I'm gonna as soon as this
Mhm.
converts, I'm gonna be like, posting it into our Discord chat so everybody can rewatch and try to remind themselves. It's like, this is the NPCs that we created and the history, because I already know a detail that I think I'm gonna try to call back to, somewhere in the game. So yeah, this will be wonderful. I am so excited for all you guys to play, and then like hopefully Jazzy will get a chance to watch this before we start to kind of, even though like hers is a different land and whatever, but just to kind of get an idea of like some of the history that got built up in Esclavad.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be great. I cannot wait. This is gonna be great. So
Oh, and I added the picture for Magister Alacritus that
oh,
I
okay.
forgot to. So it's in the NPC section now.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
All
I need to
right.
find a picture for Tanya. I don't think any of these are quite what I'm looking for, so
No, no,
let
no.
me
Yeah,
find one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like, she'd need to be older anyway. So I mean, like,
Yeah,
you
there's
do
plenty
want
of
to.
time though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Mhm.
For sure. Okay, guys. All right. So have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Oh my gosh, thank you so
Mhm.
much.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
yeah, happy gaming for the rest of the week until we play again. Yay.
All
Yep.
right, take it
All
easy.
All right.
right.
Next
Take
week.
care, guys.
Bye.
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 Bye.